Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and most importantly, Dakar freakazoids, and welcome to Fantastic Friday. It's been 2 weeks of Dakar. It has come to an end, and welcome to our Friday finale. I've got a pigeon with me, and I've got a commentator. Andrew Horn is your proxy. You've got questions, comments, queries, things you want to know. Talk through Andrew. He's your man. Andrew, you can smile. He's very nervous. He's new at this game, but he is a multiple South African Formula Ford 1600 champion. He was with us last night. He did such a good job. We brought him back. And then we've got Pigeon, Evan Hutchinson, who is, and wait for this, and I'm not trying to blow smoke, the guy is a legendary race driver, a racer. He's a competitor, the most competitive person in the world. If you're drinking a glass of water, he'll try and beat you at it. If you drink one, he'll drink two. Do not go out and have a few cool drinks with him. Evan Hutchinson, multiple South African rally champion and off-road champion and quad champion and all-round good guy. So, Evan, welcome. Guys,
evening, Colin.
Thanks
for
joining us.
It's been good.
It's Friday.
Lovely.
Fabulous,
What a day.
Made it to the end of the Dakar.
What a Dakar.
Brilliant. Thank God, it's back. The Dakar is back.
Yeah.
The question we have, and everybody's asking, what the hell are we going to do on Monday?
It's a good question.
But we will find out.
I heard it. We get ready for the 2020 South African Cross Country Series, which is a
I want
build-up.
to talk about that.
Which is a build-up to the Dakar, our final event of the SACS South African Cross Country Series.
It's a lovely name, that, hey?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? SACS?
Yeah.
Is all our top competitors and our best cars go off to the Dakar for their final test.
And we let Dakar, we indulge Dakar.
Correct.
Because truly, we shit you not, the Century is designed and built here. The Toyotas are designed and built here. The Fords are designed and built here. The side-by-sides. So winner, chicken dinner.
No, it's,
If you are involved in cross-country racing in the world, Formula One, they've got the triangle of wherever it is in England and
Correct.
whatever, just around
Brackley,
Mercedes.
Oxford, those places.
Yeah, it's where it all comes
Tell
from.
us about that, Andrew.
That's where everybody's located. They're all sort of within that area. Not far
Andrew
from
has
Silverstone.
taken on the role of our geographan and our researcherist and our commentator. So if you want to know anything, talk to Andrew.
Wow.
It's actually...
Not anything.
I tell you what, I have had to... Anyway, so that's Brackley for Formula One. For cross-country, it's
probably Southern Africa. I want to challenge all our listeners, both of them, that, and it was a question I asked the other day.
3,400,000. yeah, they are.
And it's an honest question. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. The ability that comes out of South Africa when it comes to cross country. Obviously, there's a good reason behind it, and I think it'll be an interesting debate. The amount of cars, the amount of drivers, the amount of navigators. We
Technicians.
had technicians. It's just
Brakes.
Anyway, we'll move on with the show.
And you are a cross country insider, and if you are asking that question, I mean, the nation goes wild because we win a game where they kick a ball around. Why is the nation not going wild when we have this level of mega, the word that was going through my mind, Megatron, was made in South Africa.
But we need to. It's our job, or your job, as you don't like the word journalist, but
No, I'm not a journalist. I'm just
what are you?
I'm a racing freakazoid. I love racing.
Our job
I'm
as
passionate.
racing freakazoids to go and spread that word.
Yeah.
And I think if more people knew and understood, they would back it, because it's.
But it's easy to get there in touch. If you guys come to a South African cross country racing event, first one, 28, 29 February. What's that place where they go fishing?
A Dullstrom.
Why do they call it Dullstrom when it's exciting? Okay, there's the calendar. So at Exciting Strom on the 28th and 29th of February. That's the first one. Whatever you can do. Then there's There's Durban, there's Dronkfortspruit, there's...
No, there's plenty.
it's unbelievable. The
Put one in your
Botswana...
calendar. If you haven't been to one, put one in your calendar. Go and spend a day or two. It's super exciting. It's people spend hundreds of thousands of rands to go watch the Dakar. And honestly, you can watch 2 or 3 cars that were at the Dakar going just as fast in incredible terrain in South Africa. It's,
well, you can watch the Toyota Gazoo cars. They've got 2. You can watch a Century car. You can watch 2 of the Fords.
The Nissans.
You can watch 2 of the Nissans. So there's
the side by side. There'll be a side by side also.
And those side by side that won. And there's a twist in the tail with the side by sides. You've got to, for those of you who are sharp and are clever, tell us what the twist in the tail with the side by sides is. We've got a prize. One of our major partners has come on board and give us a surprise prize. It's such a surprise, I don't know what it is yet. But it's mega. You will have a smile on your face because that's what we do. We love racing. We provide smilage. And let us know. Let's go straight back to the Dakar.
If I can interrupt for 1 second.
Well,
just touching on the cross-country series. How close can everybody get, if they make the trek to one of the events, how close can they get to the cars, to the people, and the rest of it?
You can make like a Mexican and try and touch the car. I mean, you're out on the route, you can get as close as you want. So they're literally coming straight past you.
And you
but
know
guys took their kids when Fernando Alonso made his racing debut in cross country. Where do you go to make your racing debut?
In South Africa.
In South Africa.
In Luxembourg.
And guys took they took their kids, and how cool was that? Get up close, meet the things.
We don't have enough time, but I saw Alonso. A kid came in to get his. This is important.
Yeah.
A kid came in to get his shirt signed by Alonso, and Alonso was sitting in a seat facing this way, and the kid came in behind him. But the kid reversed in with his back to Fernando Alonso so that he could sign his shirt. And so Fernando turned around and he saw the kid's back, and he stopped and he turned the kid around. And he got into conversation with him and said hello and what's your name, and I just thought that was incredible. So he could have signed the shirt and sent him on his way, but he stopped and he turned the kid around, he looked him in the eyes and he spoke to him, he turned around and then he signed his shirt and he spoke to the parents quickly.
And there's Glenn and Fernando. Now that kid, he's screwed for the rest of his life because he's felt racing. And we know that when you get that little injection of petrol into your veins, you are... No, that's it.
But you're not going to get that exposure at a Formula One race. You're not going to get that exposure at a WEC race.
But you get it at the Kyalami 9 hour. We're talking about track racing and the Sachs race.
But I'm just saying, you've got the Formula One of off-road cars here. Yeah. You know, you're dealing with the pinnacle, the Dakar Rally, cars that have run at the Dakar Rally. You can go up and look at them. Get your kids out there. Go and have a look.
NASA's car that won the Dakar last year ran in South African Championship.
There you go.
And I think it was Shamir ran that car. I'm not too sure exactly. But the same car comes back and ran in the South African Championship.
Exactly. And the same technicians, the same
people, same guys.
It's the anyway, same, but right. Back to Dakar. Yes. King Carlos. Third Dakar.
Yeah, don't call him the king for nothing, eh?
So he wins with 3 different manufacturers. Can you name the 3 manufacturers that King Carlos has won with it? Another special prize, this time brought to you by our favorite beverage supplier, happiness.com. Look them up. Let's just quickly go to yesterday, and I think that we'll get to the results. But okay, so Carlos wins, NASA's second.
You don't want to win the last day. I worked out there. You don't want to win the last stage at the Dakar.
Why not?
Because no one cares.
Yeah, I mean...
who cares? No one asks about the last day.
I mean, there was time to be made up, and there was 9 minutes in it all.
Yeah, if you had won the Dakar on the last day, it would have been a different story. But
if
something happened today, and I don't understand, but I'm just a racing driver. But we had 350 kilometers to race today, roughly. NASA made up 5.5 minutes in 150. There were 200 Ks missing, and the stage was shortened for some reason, and I don't understand why. I haven't really got. No one can really tell me why. It's a bit strange that it took the wind out of my sails when I heard that, because it was a long shot that NASA could have fought back, but he wasn't racing for second place today. He wasn't racing Stefan Peter Hansel for second or third. He was racing for first place.
Are you
No, I'm not.
looking at some kind of conspiracy?
No, I'm not.
Because this is not the first time that it is alleged that certain stages, okay, we know that the Toyota was better in soft sand. Not
dunes,
flat out.
tricky technical
flat out
dunes and
stuff.
big sand, yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
dunes and
Correct.
sand. And was it not strange that on the marathon day, too much, what? On the sandy thing. So this was the time, could it be, we love conjecture and conspiracies. So Carlos he's not getting younger. He's even older than you are. Could it be that on the Carlos's swan song, that give him the win, Toyota won last year, give it to Mini this year, Toyota will be back to defend it this year. Oh, do we go with that? I mean, there was supposed to be, surprise, we've got a stage 367 kilos today, but oops, we've just discovered that apparently the story is they were building an oil refinery. Now that doesn't happen, it's not like a pop-up, it's not like it doesn't pop up. I don't know.
I like facts. I'm a factual guy, and I like facts. And
Yeah.
if they could show us or tell us exactly what happened, it would settle my mind.
So at the moment, it's a mystery.
It's just simple people like me and lots of others. It's easy. You just explain to us exactly what the scenario is, and then we understand. But don't leave us wondering, because we're all a little bit dilly, and then our minds take us on a. Anyway, it took the wind out of my sails, and it took the fight out of today's race, because to make up 10 minutes in that amount of kilometers wasn't going to happen. And he made 5 minutes. He made 5 minutes in 150 k's. So another 200 k's could have made it exciting.
Yeah,
I think it was always going to be a long shot.
Anyway, we don't go conspiracy. I want to go to Tay Perry. Little pocket rocket. She's 3 foot 2 inches tall, weighs about 25 kilograms, handles a 450cc bike. Yesterday she breaks down at kilometer 206 in a 400k stage. She's trying to fix the bike. I got past her and all the rest of it. Eventually she gets towed in, and I've got to, this South African, apparently I want to show you what she does, and let's have a look. I mean, there she is. This is after the stage, and she's pushing in. But
she's pushing into the bivouac there. So this is, I think, at about 11:30 last night.
Yeah.
She was finally pushing for the last couple of kilometers back in, but she got towed. And it's quick sentence to say I got towed. I don't know if anyone's ever been towed on a motorbike. It's not like a car. It's really difficult. And you could
the guys who towed her, we've got to have a huge shout out to them.
Yes,
Pablo
please.
Martinez and Facundo Yaton. And they were in a Toyota, ironically enough. You know how Toyotas can do anything. But tell us, you say, I don't know if you've ever been towed on a bike. I haven't. What's it about?
It's horribly. First of all, it's got only 2 wheels, so it always wants to fall over. And if you pull it from either side, it wants to fall over. It's really difficult. But you got towed for, I think,
it's like 200 k's.
Of stage, another 100 of kilometers on the road to get back, and then she pushed it back in. I don't know how they fit her. She must have a heart so big. I don't know how they get it in that body. It's just incredible.
And she had 2 hours sleep last night.
It's incredible. I think she's probably ended up our South African hero of the Dakar, and she's got. And then I was talking to Wade, one of the technicians on Henny's car last night, WhatsApping him, and he said that she had just come in, and I said to him, please, man, let us know what's happening with the bike. Is she going to get going? And he came back straight away to say, no, it was a broken wire on the fuel pump. It's fixed already. So it was a simple thing to fix if you knew how.
If you knew, and I think that's the thing. Don't take away. Riders know how to fix basic stuff, but to problem solve like that, they're not experts at it.
And it was just, he said she came in, and she was just full of smiles and happy, and just
I saw some of the pictures.
Unbelievable. So to put yourself through that at the end, maybe it was because she finally got back to the bivouac and she knew that she was going to be able to carry on, but she's made a massive hero out of herself.
No, freaking awesome.
Not purposely, but what an incredible story.
If we let him, he's like got an on-off button. You press him on, and we can bugger off and do stuff, and he'll just go, and it's and he talks sense.
I know a guy like that.
Is anybody watching this?
We've got a couple of comments already. We've got Peter Anker that's joined us. We've got Francois Pretorius, Speedcop Pretorius from our South African Endurance Series. We've got Stephen Colotti, who seems to know a bit. He said the 2 best programs were with Rob Howie and Evan. And thank you for the insights.
And that's why we brought Evan back. Thank you, Stephen.
Sean Fursveld, this has been a fabulous Dakar following the South African participants, and thanks for the great updates on the show. And just to go back to Tay Perry, there was a comment during Kirsten Landman's interview.
Now you know why he's here.
And
The guy does his homework and he adds value. He makes...
I told you we needed somebody clever, yeah?
Catherine Golding's comment was, is there any other updates on the other lady from the African continent? And the lady you're referring to is Tay Perry, who pushed her bike into the bivouac, had 2 hours sleep, and got out there to finish the Dakar today. She crossed the line, she finished, and I think that's amazing. You know, really lots of guts to tough it out right at the end there.
I don't know what to add to that. That just
Perfect.
basically says it all. Hey? Lots of guts.
Incredible. I mean, it's a beautiful story. You can't script these things, and there you go.
So, talking about not scripting, who would have thought that an American, well, America goes to invade goes to Saudi Arabia often, but normally it's in
Not normally like
F-35s and all that shit. It's not in Hondas. And and our man, our Mr. What's that word?
Statistician.
Our statistician. 19, when did Honda win last?
They won last in 1989. I've got another question for you, which is a fun fact we can throw out to our viewers. What was the last manufacturer of bikes to win a Dakar other than a KTM, and in what year? Because I think you'll be mind blown with this stat.
Okay, that's a great question. Should we have another prize for that? What can you offer us, Pigeon?
A beautiful cap.
I'll tell you what. No, hold on a minute. There is a wonderful restaurant called The Higher Ground. Mark Berger runs it. And Mark Berger, the prize, and I'm sure that Mark will go with it because he's a great guy,
He will.
is a cheeseburger and a beer to the first person who can correctly answer the question. Mark,
He's in.
sorry.
You just told me in my ear now.
Okay.
That's fine. It's
What
good.
was your question? Listen carefully to Andrew's question.
What was the last manufacturer of bikes, non-KTM? KTM have had a reign over this Dakar for a very long time. What year and what was the manufacturer that last won before this Honda today?
I love that question. And our executive producer has just told me that it's not just a cheeseburger and a beer for you. It's a cheeseburger and a beer for you and 3 of your friends. So you can have a foursome at the Higher Ground, it's a brilliant restaurant, great views. You know Mark Berger and all of that
Spectacular
stuff.
play. You've got to go.
And Andrew, please.
We've actually got an answer already.
I mean,
We're missing the year, but we've got an answer.
okay, don't have the answer. What are we missing?
The year. I
And
did
so
ask the
just,
year and the
Andrew,
manufacturer.
What do you have to do? Year,
Manufacturer.
rider, and manufacturer.
Yeah, you can go with that as well. I don't mind.
Well, for
because it's
4
for 4
cheeseburgers, you need the driver.
Yeah, damn
Yeah.
straight.
And they're going to Google it anyway, so it's the fastest finger pilot.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a correct answer already on the.
So let's just go with Ricky Brabeck, winner. American Honda, absolutely brilliant. And 38 hours. Look, okay, they lost a stage. Paulo Quintanilla on a Husky and Toby Price on a KTM. I kind of like that we've got 3 manufacturers back because KTM dominated, very much like Mercedes dominating in Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes domination sucks. And it's always nice to have mixed. Motorsport's about uncertainty.
No,
and
it's
you've
good.
got camps of.
It's good. It
Excitement.
creates the competitiveness. I'm a KTM guy myself. I would have loved to have seen the KTM win, but for the sport, they're just going to be KTM are going to be even more hungry. They're going to want it back. So it just breeds some competitiveness.
But
which
do
is
they
what
go
we
with
want.
Husky or with what's the other one? Bang Bang. What's the other? I'm not good with bikes.
Gas
guys. Gas. Yeah, Bang Bang. Gas. Isn't a gas and a
Gas
Husky and a
Gas makes
KTM the
Bang
same
Bang.
thing with different
No.
paint jobs?
No,
Tell us, Evan. I don't know.
KTM's a KTM, and a Husqvarna is a Husqvarna.
Yeah.
Which are very similar at the moment,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
are different bikes. There are some common parts, but those are the 2 out of the same camp. And then Gas is a separate motorcycle.
And then, of course, from the land of the rising sun, we've got Hondas and.
Well, I
and
think
Yamahas.
Yamaha need to step up to the plate. That's
Yeah.
for many years now. They should be able to step up to the plate. They had a tough Dakar, but
They're also having a tough MotoGP as well.
yeah, they seem to be battling wherever they go. But I think it's time for Yamaha to step up.
But
to the
guys,
plate.
let's focus. We've got to go through our South Africans Ross Branch 21st. Fastest macadamia nut farmer in the world.
Not Ross Branch.
Not Ross, no, that was...
Correct. Stuart Gregory.
yeah, okay, well...
Yeah. There's no nuts.
Brew.
In.
We're going to talk about this. Leia Saints 18th, 55th, Kirsty Landman 63, Stewie Gregory, Graham Sharp, Zimbo, he's the first Zimbo to finish a Dakar, 74th, and he's also on Motul Originals. How cool is that? But you've got to sit up because the camera makes you look like a porker.
I'm a little guy, I'm a racing driver.
I think Tay Perry came in 77th.
Shame, that was a tough result for Tay Perry because she was running right up there.
Yeah,
the whole Dakar. That one problem that she had yesterday hurt her position. I don't think right now it's bothering her too much because the finish is the big thing, but she was running up ahead of all of them.
And Nasser, for the last, I think it's 8 years, has won a stage every Dakar, so he had to go and do it today, and he wins, but it doesn't mean anything, so it's absolutely magnificent. Now, Andrew earlier was talking to me about the number of stages. Have you got any answers to our question about the motorbikes? But there's another question you had about Dakar and stages and stuff.
Okay, we've got Bernard van den Doel, who's come in with the correct manufacturer, and he is correct. It was BMW.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah.
The rider, if I can give it away, and this is a name from the past that everyone will remember, Richard Saint.
Wow.
In the year 2000, so we're talking 20 years ago. So KTM have had a 20-year dominance on this race.
Correct.
And what
19-year dominance.
What model BMW was it?
F650F.
It wasn't the horizontally thing,
No,
it was like a two-banger.
I was going to say that was that. Because they were quite dominant for a long time, BMW, with their Dakar. They called it their F.
They were dominant. Their dominance started in the Second World War.
I don't know how that guys made it through on that bike. It was
Even it was only 2 years they won it with that.
But that was a 650, wasn't it?
Correct.
And we're now down at 450s.
Correct.
Because the 650s were quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it? Okay. What we had a new question.
We had a new question yesterday.
So hold on. We've got a winner for our 4 hamburgers, cheeseburgers.
Bernard van den Doel.
Right, you've got to
Through
sort
on
it out,
Facebook.
Yeah. Right, our new question.
The new question actually came in during yesterday's show. The most number of stage wins in a single Dakar.
Yeah. Okay, so Peter Hansel's won 4 in this race.
Correct.
All right, so the most number of stage wins in a single Dakar by a driver or a rider?
I can give you both stats if you're interested.
Okay, no. They've got to give it to you guys. So there's a new prize. We don't know what it is yet, but Pigeon will think of something. Janelle de Villiers, Alex Harrell, they were 1 hour off. And how does this guy finish? I think in all his Dakars, he's finished outside the top 10 once.
incredible.
He is Mr.
Consistency.
And if you, it's an acknowledged thing. If you're in the hunt for Dakar and you want to finish in the top 10, the first Oku sign is Janelle.
Yeah, he's a
So
banker.
Glenn's got a gem there, absolute
banker.
gem.
Yeah. And he was, let's not forget, I mean, we don't always understand it when you're watching the race, but he was sick. He was feeling terrible. He fought through.
Through flu.
Correct.
And
then he hurt his neck, shoulder. So he had a tough event, as we've spoken before. I think it would have been a good one for him. It looks like cars and terrain determine what happens, and it looks like it was a little bit open, a little bit fast for the Toyotas, and I believe it. I think there's some truth in that. I know that people have been whining about Glenn saying that it was this, it was that, but you can see the numbers, and if you start working out the numbers, it's quite hectic to know that you're on a flat straight doing 20 k's faster than anybody else, which, let's be honest, doesn't take too much talent. You just sit with your foot flat. So I think it was tough for Toyota. They fought. They had a couple of other issues. They had some tyre issues early on. Don't forget the four-wheel drives on a much smaller tyre than the two-wheel drives. I've raced both. And the biggest difference, when anybody asked me anything about what was the difference between the four-wheel drive and the two-wheel drive, I said I had to focus my eyes more on stones and rocks that were in front of me because you got punches much quicker. So it was evident that the four-wheel drives were getting more. So that was tough. That was tough for the four-wheel drives.
we've got a voice note from Glenn, and he was very kindly after the stage today in transit. He sent us this voice note. and have a listen to the words of Glyn Hall, principal of Toyota Gazoo Racing.
So, hi Colin. Yeah, we're at the end of the rally. I'm currently in the back of a camper on the way to Riyadh to the hotel, following the first podium ceremony. Saudi Arabia gone all out to make this an incredible adventure. And we were speaking to one very, very senior businessman in Saudi, the head of Toyota Saudi, which is an enormous country, and they are blown away about the global media coming inside their country, seeing what it is like, or what Saudi is like, and what can be. For us, for the race, of course, the punctures, 45 for our 4 cars, so an absolute nightmare for us in the beginning. Having said that, the drivers got through all of that. Then Nasser pushing to the absolute maximum on stages, and he says he's never pushed so hard for so long, and the speed in the places where we watched was unbelievable. So he did a really great job. No question at all. Neil, unfortunate, 2 lots of double, 3 punctures in the early stages, so on his back foot from the beginning, but won a great stage. Bernard, we got to the end of the rally, which sounds great, but for 2 years we've had a technical issue close to the end, so that didn't happen. And while Bernard wanted to do better, he's really happy to finish. And of course, Fernando, he was really happy. And I think for South Africa, on the podium, they gave him the microphone, thousands of people, and he said, "Thank you, Glyn, thank you, Toyota." And that made me feel proud to see what we've done from South Africa side for Fernando. 3.5, 4 months for this guy, just incredible, and he really appreciates all the personal effort, the South African way, coming sit with us in the chairs when we could, round the car in the dust. One of the boys, absolutely. So he achieved his goal to finish. Our goal was for him to be inside the top 10. I thought it would be easy if he didn't have any incident, and a top 6 if he had a clean run, which would be almost impossible when you're going that speed on your first Dakar. And believe me, he had the speed. But yeah, I don't know what more to say about the race. We came to win. We couldn't, but we fought 5,000 kilometers at 8 minutes. Chris Meek, the WRC driver, was on the race, and he said there's no question they've analyzed the Dakar. He's a bit of a statistician, and he said 1 minute here is like 1 second in WRC. So on his terms, we were 8 seconds off in 5,000 Ks. For me, that's pretty close. So it's goodbye here for me for Saudi Arabia, and the organization's been great, and we'll have to come back and be stronger next year.
It really, really was close at the top. And, you know, motorsport's not about if, ands, or buts, because it's about what really happened. And, yeah, it was truly odd. And to hear Glyn saying, we came and we fought, and we'll be back. I've got a sneaky suspicion that Fernando has already said, hey, listen, I'm coming back and I'm going to do so well. To finish 13th on your debut when he had the poo that he did, and the earth is still shaking from the way he assaulted it. But there's Glyn and Fernando, and they've built a bond that I'm not sure Fernando has experienced in racing for a long, long time. The bond that those two have is absolutely special. Andrew, you've got some stuff already.
Yep, Sean Firstfeld's come in with the correct answer for the most stage wins on a single Dakar. In a car, it was Pierre Lartige, a Frenchman.
Yeah.
10 stages in one Dakar in 1994 in a Citroen.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Those cars were awesome, hey?
Yeah, little rally cars.
94 was those crazy things with the wings on the back of them and
They were
huge
like
power.
Class B rally cars.
Yeah, Pierre Lartigue, absolutely freaking awesome. So the top 10, just listen to this. Mini Toyota Mini, Toyota Mini SRT. I want to get to, we haven't really spoken about the SRT, but I want to go on to 33rd overall was a Treasury 1 Nissan of Henny de Klerk and Johan Smallberger. They had absolute heartache. We came into the studio this morning, we were busy going through things, and news came through that an input shaft broke. And the input shafts on those gearboxes, so you've got the motor and you've got a gearbox and you've got a little, it's like a quill, it's about
Nearly that big.
It's nearly about that big. No, really. And it takes the drive from the engine, from the clutch into the gearbox. It broke. We know that Toyota's had exactly the same thing. They're running the same boxes, Raceday boxes. And those things were lifed at about 5,000 kilometers. They changed it on the service day, the rest day, and he broke, and they had to tow him in. I think we've got some pictures. So there they are. He's on the back of a thing, and this is on a truck on the end of a tow rope. It's got to be the emotion in the voice notes that came through. It was like heartbreaking. Here they go, and I think the figures are the Nissans that Terence Marsh has taken from Redline has taken there. They finished of the 129 stages, I think they finished 122.
Yeah.
What was that figure, our statistician?
128 stages, they finished 123. 96% or something like that.
Exceptional. I said it the other night. It's so difficult to build a car, just to build it, to make it drive down the road. To go do well in it, to be competitive in it is another thing. To take it to the Dakar is just stupid because you're asking for trouble. I mean, wow, you're asking for trouble.
Toughest race in the world.
And incredible. I think kudos to the people who designed it, built it, and prepped them. It's incredible. It's hard to describe how difficult and how complex it is, but it's an incredible result.
I still want to go back to why the hell are we so good at this stuff? If you've got any ideas on why we're so good at it, because we want to go and talk about the Century guys as well. 35th. In the other Nissan was Thomas Bell and Patrick McMurray. Quads Ignacio Casali wins it. And guess what? So now we discovered, and the Russians. Andrea Karginov, they all, and there's always a V in there. Markiv and mechanic Igor Leonov, they win it in, they basically led from start to finish. And the side-by-sides, we discovered something. I don't know who it was, but we've got a Durban boy there. Sean Berryman, we'll take him. He's a Durban boy, but lives in America now. So Casey Curry and South African Sean Berryman, they win in the Can-Am, which was designed, the chassis designed just down the road.
Correct.
Another freaking thing. I have no... So I want to go to... Stuart Gregory is our nut farmer.
Correct.
Yeah, I knew
South
that.
Coast.
That's what I said.
Nearly.
Well, okay, so I was nearly right.
Yeah. We all make mistakes.
Guys, it's been 2 weeks of stuff. It's been amazing. What are we going to do on Monday? I mean, tomorrow.
No, it is sad. I mean, I saw one or two comments during the race where it was the end of stage and someone said, okay, so stage over. They said, oh, thank God I can now go back to work and just get back to life. But Julian was saying I think it was a question he asked the guys at the workshop, okay, be honest, who's done any work in the last 2 weeks?
No one.
Apart from going back to their phones and pushing refresh. Because if you love this, it's an incredible race and you just want to know what's going on and you just want to get back there and pick up that phone and refresh and see what are the results.
And how cool was it that we're living in a time zone that was actually lacquer because they were an hour ahead of us. So when you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, or you've got ping, the Oaks have started already, I believe you've got more stuff for us.
Nothing at this point.
Why not? Guys, he's chilling. Give him work to do. Comment.
We've got, the only comments we've got you actually addressed, which was what happened to the Treasury 1 car. And it was towed in by truck number 523, which was a Spanish outfit.
Towed in, it's finished, it's gone over the podium.
They towed it over the podium, which was so cool.
But it's a finisher.
We do have the names of those guys. You have the names of them?
I do. Jordi Giovanti, and his co-driver is Jose Criado, and the ride-along mechanic is Xavier Domenech.
Love it. My name is Jose.
They've done a lot of Dakars.
Jalapeno on a stick.
They've done a lot of Dakars. They did their first Dakar in 1991, so the spirit of Dakar is strong.
Yeah, I think on that last day, it's hard to leave a guy behind. You know, the first day it's one story, but on the last day, I think they had 80 kilometers to go. I would imagine there's not too many people who get left behind by that stage. So we heard he'd been stationary for a while, and I had a voice note from Terence saying, if you can believe this, we know there's a sting in the tail. You know it's there.
Yeah.
You just know where it's gonna sting you. And one car was sitting stationary. Anyway, he said, let's hope that someone tows him in, and luckily they did.
One of the things that is absolutely mega about Dakar that gets you in a whole number of ways is what I try and call spirit of race. And it goes to spirit of Dakar, where never shall ye leave a comrade behind on the battlefield. And in this way, in this race, the battlefields are the sands of the deserts and straits of the stages. We've seen that with Tay Perry. We saw that with the Treasury One guys. We saw it with Pablo Gonçalves, with the way the guys stopped. We've seen it with bringing in Tay Perry. We've seen it in just the general spirit of humankind coming together and supporting each other. And yes, the guys are at the front. We ended up with Nasser Al-Attiyah helping Fernando Alonso with a tire. You have the camaraderie, the relationship, the respect that these warriors have with each other is what gives me joy in my heart for the future of humankind. Powered by petrol and hydrocarbons. God, life is wonderful, is it not? The viewers, you guys, you worked with us, you helped us, well, it's been unbelievable. But I've still got, I've got voices going. We come here every day, we try and prepare, and we bring in new comrades in arms, because you guys are so fantastic who watch. I think it's absolutely magnificent.
On what you were just saying, Ross Branch, did you talk about him last night? He got a medal yesterday for the warrior, the story, the comeback.
Okay.
What is it?
I mean, Ross wins a stage. Next day he gets
the crash.
He's broken.
He fought through all adversity, and he got his medal yesterday. They choose and I don't remember exactly what it was called. The story of the Dakar, the fighter.
I'll see if I can find it for
fight back of.
There's a proper name. But just what you were saying, people helped him. He had a guy who finished the stage and walked back 300 meters to help him try to push it out of stage. I think once you get into that position and you're a competitor and you've gone through what they've all gone through.
And when he fell, after, the other fall, it was bang on his shoulder.
Yeah, the second fall was on his shoulder. But he fought hard. He fought hard and he dug deep. And I was sending him some messages through, and he'd won the stage, and obviously everybody was there to say well done and etc. And then he had this tough day, and my message at that stage was, and experiencing some of this over the years, winning a race normally works out to be an easy race, because obviously there's no problems. You just go and do your thing, and suddenly they tell you you've won. Just like in Ross Branch's case, where he said he didn't know he had won. He didn't know. Yeah. He only realized. He said, "Oh, it was just a good day. I was having fun, and I won." But the next day he needed to dig deep. And digging deep is hard, and you've got a long way to go, that's the hard. You hurt. He's in a lot of pain. He lost the end of his finger. I mean, the piece is gone off the end of his finger. He's separated his shoulder. His ambitions were to do well, and he saw that going out of the window. And it's called digging deep, and it takes a lot of guts.
Tay Perry dug deep.
And that's what
Kirsty Lockman dug deep. She's got a massive fear. She comes off her bike in Botswana, ends up in a coma for how many days? 10, 12 days. And basically ends up not going to ride.
People have that fear without having the accident of speed. She's had the accident,
and
she's faced that fear head on, and she's taken herself. I watched the interview with her, and you could see that, and that shows what a warrior she is, because she had the fear. She was aware of the fear, and she took herself to that place. It's brilliant. No. Hopefully in some interviews in days and weeks and months to come, you can talk to these people and you can try and get to the bottom of it. But that's what makes motorsport so incredible and makes these people warriors. Never mind the story of the passing of a rider. That is the reality of the situation. It's the end of the race, and the thing is that
everybody who gets on a bike or in a car secretly knows that it could happen to them, but because there's something different and special and strange about racing people, race drivers and riders, they park that aside and it won't happen to me. But then
But you know.
Life's a bitch.
You know that
and
it
comes
can.
and kicks you in the nuts.
Yeah, you always know it can.
Yeah,
and
brings you to reality.
You know before you start, and you're well aware of it. But you, like you say, you almost have a place to put it. You need a healthy respect of fear and danger, but you need to. It's all a balance. It becomes this balance of ability. So it's quite interesting. But hopefully you can get all of these all these South African heroes.
I'd love to talk about the mentality, but before we go there, the psychology of the sport. But I just want to say again to Pablo Gonçalves, his teammates, his family, and the bigger Dakar family, and to all motorsport people, thank you, you legend. Rest in peace. Race fast with the growing community of people. And on that note, while we have a deep down moment, Bruce Harry, a legend of tyres, of suspension, started at McLaren's with Bruce McLaren in the early 60s. He was my mentor. At Firestone, he built the finest racing tyres in this country. To Bruce Harry, who passed away this morning, to Anne, his wife, and to everybody who knew him, the greater motorsport community. Thank you, Bruce. The world is poorer without you. Rest in peace. Sorry, that just kind of got to me a little bit because Bruce was a freaking unbelievable guy. I want to go. Quick thoughts, 30 seconds or more.
We've got an interesting comment from Wayne Watt, which I think touched on what you said earlier. Carlos has won in a Volkswagen, a Peugeot, and now a Mini.
Yeah, there you go. Well done, Wayne. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's about all we've had so far.
South Africans, thank you to all the South Africans that participated in, navigated in, designed, built, prepped cars. You gave me personally something really special to follow, and I think a lot of people who follow motorsport, my question for this is why are we so good at this? And I want to thank all the South Africans, everybody that was there, all my mates that were working there, people I know who raced there. You bring us to a special place. You took us onto the world stage, to Julian, to Toyota, to the Nissans.
And all the bikers
that were there all the way. It's really cool. It's really cool to have you there and to be able to support you guys. And you made us proud. I mean, they really did. They were all heroes. They all, and not just because they were there. They all made a story. It was cool. That's my hero. My moment was our South Africans. Yeah.
Evan, I want to talk to you because yesterday we were talking about tire inflation. Yeah.
Yeah. Evan popped through on the comments.
Somebody said something.
I was wrong.
So I want to talk to you. Let's just take this back. We said that there's the two-wheel drives, the buggies, they've got automatic tire inflation. Captain Pigeon here said that it's only on the back wheels. However, there's the picture from yesterday. And we zoomed it in. Zoom in there, Fritzy. Show us the back wheel. Well, you can't zoom that one. But the car goes the other way because they were going away and now they're coming back. And have a look at that. Look at the back. Check the tube there. And wait, Pigeon, check the front wheel. Check it out.
That's the back wheel. My humble apologies.
Boom!
Quite right.
Our research department is fantastic.
No.
You know what? The fun part about this show, it's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's the fact that we come here, all of you have got passion. And I couldn't have done this without you. We're a team. I think it's been bloody brilliant. Thank you for your time, your effort. And that we spoke about spirit of race out there. What we do is a piece of piss. They go and they risk their lives and all of that. We come here and we have a chit-chat. But
just touching on the gears, the interview you did earlier with Julian Hardy, I mean, you listen to him talk, he's relentless. You know, he's already thinking what next, where to, how to fix it, let's get back and start working. You know, I think that's incredible. And I think you'll find that through most of these Dakar teams that these guys are just pushing.
Well, Glenn is flying back tonight. Julian's on the plane tonight. Just to recap, we said to him, you're going to have a party tonight. No, bugger that. He's getting on an airplane coming back because there's work to do, my friend, my French friend, mon ami. and they've got to get their cars ready for the cross-country champions. South African, check out Evan's cap. It's the South African Cross Country Series, 28 and 29 of February. It's on the leap year day. It's in Dullstroom. You can come and catch fish. You can come and eat stuff, and you can come and see some of these Dakar heroes. Boys, and sniff the petrol, hear the fumes, and feel the beat in your chest. It is magnificent. Finest time you will ever have. Guys, it's been a pleasure to the ride. Thank you for joining us on this ride. Thank you for sharing your time, your passion, and the Gees with us. To everybody who's been with us, to Rob Howie, Stewie Thompson, Evan Hutchinson, the Pigeon, Andrew Horn, the Formula Ford champion. Who else was with us? The people on Dakar who we've interviewed. Julian, Wade, the guys from Treasury One, Terence Marsh. Terence Marsh for sending us all that the stuff and the information. Thank you, Terence. Glenn Hall for sharing time out with us. It's been a blast. It's been mega. Join us in the rest of this journey, because world-class cross-country racing has not stopped today. It carries on the 28th and 29th of February at the South African Cross-Country Series. We'll be bringing you the action from the pits and the stuff. But don't wait till then. Follow us. Join us on Wednesday. We've got a surprise for you. And our little bit of petrol-headedness carries on. Click the like button, and there's a bell over there, and on not YouTube, Facebook, on YouTube. Our channel of preference at the moment is YouTube, because it's cooler and betterer and widerer and fasterer. Pigeon, Evan, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Andrew,
it's been a pleasure.
You're a star.
Thank you for having me, Colin, and thank you to everybody that's commented and joined us. There are a couple joining us now. Siobhan Kent's joined us. Keegan Ward's joined us. My cousin Simon, who's a missile engineer in the British Army. I think he's stuck in the Falklands, believe it or not. So how's it, Simon? Thanks for joining us. But just thanks to everybody that's fueled it with great questions and great content and stuff for us to, to fuel us and get us going. It's really awesome. Thank you.
And lastly, to the guys on the other side of the glass window, to Henk and Fritz, and you guys have been frickin' amazing. Do me a favor. The guys, they are mad in their heads. They are rocket scientists of note. Without them driving the show. And the production department, legal department, thank you very much for clearing it. And catering came to the party today. Apparently there's some boerewors that they've cut into some sausages, and apparently we're going to have a braai just now. Let's wrap it up. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and little furry animals, have a great weekend. Be safe, have fun. We'll be back. Cheers.